So what did we learn in our yesterday session? Learned about all the collections like set, map, and the methods inside. How do we use the values in a map? How do we write the values into a map? How do we read the values into a map? How do we work with set? Those kind of things we have learned. And some extra methods in the map were there, like put, if, absent, get, or default. And then some extra, some complicated map, like it's not complicated, but it's just map of maps. If you want to store multiple user details in a single map, then you can also do that. That also we have seen. And how do we retrieve the map of maps? And later we have seen the introduction to the access specifiers. So what are the access specifiers we have in Java? What are the access specifiers? There are four, right? Public, protected, default, and private. These are the four access specifiers in Java. Public, it will be accessible to anyone. Protected, it can be accessed only in the same package or from subclasses in the other packages. And then default, by default, you don't have to mention that this is a default one. If you don't mention any of the three, public or protected or private, it will be default. If it is default, then it will be accessible only within the package. Okay. And then if it is private, only within the class. Public is the highest accessible, private is the least accessible. Now let us see some sample code and try to access these different things. Okay. Now let us see first is private. So let us see private one. I'll create a separate class for this. And okay, hobby batch. I'll create another class. Our last was C19. So So I'll create another class here. Class just okay, and then here create private string. Name is equals to. Here I'm marking it as static because in the static area, if I want to use it, I can directly use it. But anyway, this will not be visible in this. I'll show you. And default static string session is equals to access bias. Okay. Static string is more. Okay. So here I did not mention anything, right? Public, private, protected. So if I do not mention anything, then that is becoming default. By default, it will be default. You don't have to write default. It's not needed to write like this. Even though if you don't mention this, it will be default. Okay. Right. And then I have protected static. Is equals to. and then public static string. Selling something. So I have four different variables now. One is private, one is default, one is protected, and the other one is public. Okay. So if we go back to this, what is first? Let us see private. So private, you will be able to access this variable only within the class. You will not be able to access this private variable outside the class. So first one is private. So these variables I will be able to access only within the class. Outside of this class, even if I create an object for this test dummy, I should not be able to access this variable called name. Let's see if I'm able to do here or not. Public void okay. So, I want this method. It should be static because I created a static variable. So I can use name. See, I'm able to access this variable called name inside this class without any issue. Okay, fine. Here, let us try to access this variable. So if I want to access a variable from other class, which is static, so what should I do? From the static area, I can use class name dot name. You see, am I getting the name variable here? I'm getting contact number, course, and session, and then I'm also getting the print name method. But do I see name variable here?
No.
Because that name variable is private. So if it is when it is private, this private variable cannot go out of this class. That is why you are not able to see here. See, say this is not visible. This is not visible because this is private. Nobody else can see. No other class can see these private variables outside of this class. Okay. So, not visible because name is private variable. Okay. Now let us see for other variables. Test dummy dot. You are able to see everything. Test dummy dot. Contact number. Test dummy dot. Course. Session. Now you are able to get everything here, right? CSS7. Okay. Static default. It's in the package. Both are the same package. Variable declarators to complete local variable declaration. This will session start. Did I do any spelling error? This is correct. It's saying syntax error or something. Has to complete local variable declaration. This is not about So I'm trying to fetch the values from this class, but I did not assign them to any value, right? Any variable here. So that is what it is saying. Please assign these values. When I say print, there is no need to assign. See, whatever might be, except to private, I am able to access all the other. Contact number is protected. This is protected. I'm able to access. And then this is public. I'm able to access this as well. And this is default. I'm able to access this as well, except private. I'm not able to access anything, right? Sorry, except private, I'm able to access everything else within the class. And if you observe, this C20 is in the same package. So both this test dummy and this access specifiers are in the same class and same package. So there are no restrictions for protected, public, and default within the class. Okay. Within the class, all of these three can be accessible except this private variable. Okay, this is one thing. Let us run this and see. See, we got the values exactly whatever, how or however we want. Okay, fine. Now let us see. Let us see. First one is private within the class that we have completed. Now default within the package. Okay. Let us see here. Default is session. Okay. This variable scope is within this package. That is com.bobbyboss.java. Outside of this package, we will not be able to see both private as well as this default one. Okay. Now let me create a sample class in this collections as dummy class. Okay. Need a main method over there. Okay. Now let us see here. We want C20. Right. C20 access specifiers. C20. It's not C20. Inside C20 we have another class. This is test dummy. Variables are inside this, right? Test dummy dot. Okay, we have to import this test dummy because it is in another. Test dummy. Okay. Why is it not coming? Do you know? Because this is not a public class. Do one thing. I'll create this in a separate file so that we can create objects.
Then we can call, say, C20 access specifier, right? Instead of test dummy. That is a public.
But in C20 access specifier, this is C20 access specifiers, but we do not have those variables here, right?
Yeah.
That is why. Access spec variables. I'm just changing the name of it. These are the variables under access spec variables. In access specifiers, I have to change that class name. C21 access variables. Access spec variables. So here we will be able to access only these three. Still will not be accessible. Okay, because it is outside the class. Now let us go and see the dummy class outside the package. access variables dot. Now you see only two variables you are able to access, class and course. What about the name and session? You are not able to see it here, right? Name and session.
Name is a private,
Yeah, name
but
is
session is
private.
not private.
Session is not private, but session is protected. Session is default. So when you don't mention any access specifier here, it will be default. When you mention it as a default, it will be accessible only within this package. Where is this C21 present? C21 is here. So only within this package, I will be able to access this session in all of these classes. But outside of this package, that is collections is another package, right? So the variable which is present in this C21 and is default cannot be accessible in this package. Understood? Understood?
Can you repeat again?
All right. See, what is private? Whatever is mentioned as private, you will be able to access only within the class. So that is why when we created this access spec variables and when we have a private variable name, I was able to use this name variable inside this method without any issue. But when I go back to C20 and try to access the same name variable, was it able to allow me? I mean, was I able to do it? Now see, what is it saying? Name is not visible. It is not visible because the variable name is private. When it is private, that variable is specific to this class. Only within this class you'll be able to access. Outside of this class, this variable cannot be seen. Nobody else knows that there is a variable called a name in this class. So that is why when I try to access this, it is not showing. And then even if I type hard manually, then it is not saying. You see, do you see name variable here? No. But you see default variable called default variable session because this is in the same package. Understood? Name cannot be seen because it is private, and the session cannot be seen because session can be seen here because it is default. When it is default, you will be able to access. This is default, right? Static session is default. So this will be accessible in this package in any of the class. So both C20 and C21 are in the same class. So in C20, I was able to access session default variable. Okay. Now this default cannot go out of this package. Like private cannot go out of the class, default cannot go out of this package. So that is why in another package called collections, I created a class called dummy class. And when I'm trying to access that session, you do not see the session variable. See, nothing. Even if I write like this, it will throw an error. What is it saying? You see, it is not visible because the variable session is a default variable in another package. Understood?
Yes.
Default variables be accessed out of the package. Okay, we are unable to access this session because it is default. So when it is default, that variable will be seen by only these classes inside the package. So that is why we were able to see it in C20. It was not throwing any error for default. Do we see it? Right? Yes, we see it. But outside of the package, we don't see it because it is default. So the scope of default is only inside the package. It cannot go outside of this package. Clear?
Okay,
Yes.
in that case, if I give public for the variable name, can I use the same variable in outside of the package too?
Yeah, you can. I'm going to show. I'm going to show. Okay.
Uh,
C21 dot. You see class. We have course. Right. You have both variables, class and course. Where is that? Sorry, course is there. Public. Private we won't be able to see. Default we won't be able to see. Protected also. It is within the package, but outside of the package in child classes itself. But we did not create any relation between this 21. So that is why only course is visible now, right?
no. My question is not that. Go back to that public. No. Yeah. See here, you have given public static string course equal to Selenium, correct? So you are using this this in the another package out of the Bobby Batch Java. You are using this variable in another package because
I
it
did
is
not use
public.
yet. Yeah, I did
No,
not
you
use
can
yet.
use it.
We can
You
use
can
it.
use correct.
Yeah.
So, but in the same package where the dummy class Java is another package, right? In the same package, can I have a variable name as course?
Yes, we can. Let me create a variable called here. But just we can have it. No issues. Because when you are calling this course variable, you are mentioning the class name. That means what? This course variable is coming from this class, right?
Okay.
So no issues. You can have the same variable in this package. It doesn't create any issue. Because we are already knowing, we'll be already telling either by creating object or by class name that I want course variable from this class. Understood? Okay. So course variable is coming. So public will be accessible anywhere. So now we have seen private and default. Both you understood, right? Private and default. If you understood both private and default, then we'll go for protected. Private only within the class, default only within the package. Outside of the package, we cannot access it. Okay? Before going to protected, is that clear? Private and this default. Is that clear? Please respond.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Now let us move to protected. Okay. So protected means it can be accessed only in the same package or from subclasses. Okay. So in the same package, we were able to access, that is already there. In this, we have a protected variable. We were able to access it inside C20, right? Protected variable is accessible in the same package, no issues. In any of the other classes also, I will be able to access, no issues. But here in dummy class, I am unable to see the protected variable. Okay, the protected variable is contact number. I am unable to see outside of the package. Then you might say, okay, then what is the difference between default and protected? Both are not able to see in here. We are unable to see both of them. Then what is the difference between protected and default, right? Because there is a small difference between protected and default. Both protected and default will be only accessible within the package. Outside of the package, both of them will not be accessible under some conditions. So protected will be accessible in other packages only if this class is a child class of this class. Whereas default, it cannot be accessible whatever might be the reason, whether it is the child class or a separate class, anything, default cannot be accessible. But if it is a child class of the C21, then inside dummy class, we will be able to access protected. Protected can be shared. Okay. So how do I make it a child class? So I'll say instance C21. Okay. Now you see here, I'll say C21. access variables dot. Now do you see other variables? You see course and contact number. Contact number is protected, right? See, contact number is protected. Earlier example, this contact number is not visible. But now you are able to see it. If I remove this, it will throw an error. You see, what is it saying? It is not visible. But when I have this, it is visible. Because we are creating a relationship between dummy class and C21. This means that dummy class is a child class of C21. So we are having a relation. Like I said, this is an example of your mobile phone. It is not a public phone. It is a protected mobile phone. You, your spouse, or your children can use your mobile phone. So this is a child class. Dummy class is a child class of C21. So this child is accessing the variables of this. When it is protected, public is anybody can use. So that is why course is public, so anybody can use it.
So extends means it's a child class.
Yeah, extends means we are extending this particular class. So dummy class will become child class.
Dummy class is child class, not.
Yeah, dummy class is child because this is extending this, right?
Okay. So if C21 access spec variables, that is the main class, correct?
Yeah.
If we want to have two more child class, how will we do that?
Same. You can create a class, then extend that class also with the same.
Okay.
And this is the concept of inheritance that we'll see in object-oriented programming in detail. Okay. Just for now, just remember that this is creating a child class. This dummy class is becoming a child class of this class, right? So though protected is though this contact number is a protected variable, now this dummy class has become a child class of C21. So that is why we are able to access the contact number, which is the variable from other package, right? This is from BobbyBatch.java and it is protected. When it is protected, it will be accessible only within the package and outside the package only in the child classes. So that is why we are able to access it. Okay, but default you will not be able to access it even in the child class. Let me comment and show you. See, this is a default variable session. This is not visible yet. Default, whatever you do, whether you create a child class or not, whether you are trying outside, if it is outside the package, that's all. Default cannot be accessed. So we have stopped using private within the class. We have stopped using default outside the package. And we have seen protected. Within the package, we do not have any issues with the protected, but outside the package, only in the child classes. So we have created this as a child class and we are able to see the protected variable. So you understood the difference between access specifiers?
Yeah, I have a question. So when we are trying to, call from another package, for example, the Bobby batch. So we have to put import.
Where?
Import.
No, this is not needed. It will be coming automatically. When you type this, it will be coming automatically. Okay, it will be coming automatically when you type. But since I played with it, I had to import it manually. This has to know, right, from this, where is this class, where this class C21 is from. This same class with the same name, there might be classes in multiple packages. So it should know from which class we want this, from which package we want this class. So that is why we have to import. Okay, from this package, we are importing this particular class. So that now this class will become available for this, this C21 class will become available for dummy class. That is the way of, how Java deals.
So we have to write that extends all the time whenever we have to mention the package?
No. This extends is for classes. When you create a child class, when you want to create a child class for a class, then you have to use this extends keyword. Otherwise, it is not needed.
Where do we
Only
use this? Can you give one example? Why do we use this?
extends.
Extends, yeah.
The child class means.
Yeah. For now, just remember it. When we enter into object-oriented programming, then then I'll explain in detail where do we need this. Okay. We have the next topic. The notes we have. See, next is object-oriented programming. First, let us concentrate on these four things: public, private, protected, and default. Once they are done, then let us move into it. Okay. Don't worry, I'm not going to miss it. Just remember it that this is a child class and this is a parent class. If you want to create a relationship between both of them, then you need to use extends keyword. Okay, when do we use this? We'll see in object-oriented programming concept. Okay, first let us concentrate only on these four. I don't want to make you confused, so that is why I'm stopping this from explaining. Okay. So is that clear now? All the four variables, all the four access specifiers: public, private, protected, and default.
Can you click on C20 once?
C20.
C20 access specifier.
Yeah. This is C20 access specifier.
Okay. Just wanted to verify something. Okay, good.
So any other questions, or you understood the access levels, right? Public, private, protected, and default. If that is done, then we can move to next topics.
So to say in short, public can access everywhere.
Exactly, everywhere.
Private
in any of
only
the
inside the
packages.
class.
Exactly.
Okay, and default inside the package, whereas protected outside the package with the child class, correct?
Exactly. Protected is accessible outside of the class, outside of the package, only in the child classes. If it is not a child class, we won't be able to access it.
Okay.
So these are the four access specifiers. Yeah, good.
So for public, we
Oh.
put public, for private, protected, but default means nothing.
Nothing. You don't have to mention anything. If you don't mention anything, then this will be default. This one. I did not mention anything, so it will become default.
That means any string, basically any variable I define.
Any variable. Yeah, any variable, if you don't mention any of these things, then that will become default.
Okay.
Okay. So this is all about access specifiers, and this is the last topic about programming. Next, we have object-oriented programming concept. Okay. So let us move into this object-oriented programming. First topic is inheritance. So what is object-oriented programming? Why do we need this? What is the concept of inheritance? What is polymorphism? What is abstraction? What is encapsulation? All these things we'll see. Okay. So once we complete these last four topics, then we can move to Selenium. Okay. So these are the last four topics in Java. Exception handling is there, but I'll cover that as part of Selenium only. Exception handling is also part of Java, but we'll cover it in Selenium. Okay. Next, there are many other topics in Java, like lambda expressions and so many other things like parallel, what do we say, parallel streaming. Like in collections, we have seen that parallel streaming, right? Doing both of the activities parallelly. So those all kind of things we don't need as part of a Selenium tester, and we never use in Selenium. So that is why we don't need it. So once you get some hands-on, once you get some expertise in this all topics, then you can learn on your own those topics. Those will be just theoretical, and then once you understand all these things, those you can learn easily. Okay, so we are not entering into those things because those are all out of syllabus for Selenium.
See, whatever we learn this public protected default, those are all access specifier, right? What is
Yeah.
this access modifiers? Same thing?
Same thing. There is no, see, actually, we are not modifying the access of it. We are mentioning it. So that is why we don't call them as access modifiers. We call them as access specifiers. We're specifying it, but we are not modifying it, right? Modify means already there is something. Now we are changing it. Then that is called as modify. But what are we doing here? We're actually specifying what type of variable is this, right? That's it. See, did I modify or did I mention what type of variable is this? I did not modify. I just mentioned this. So that is why we will say access specifiers. We don't call them as access modifiers, but still some people call them as access modifiers. No issues. These are access specifiers. Both are same. Was that your question, Babu?
Yeah.
Both are same, but actually we are since we are specifying it, we call them as access specifiers. We are not modifying any access level. We are just specifying it. So that is why I am habituated to call it as access specifiers. Okay. All right. Now let's go into object-oriented programming concepts. So what is object-oriented programming concepts? What is inheritance? What is polymorphism, abstraction, and encapsulation? We'll see one by one. Okay. Let us go into inheritance. This is the huge topic. Okay. What is OOPS? OOPS means object-oriented programming system. So there are object-oriented programming languages and non-object-oriented programming languages. For example, Java, C# are object-oriented programming languages, whereas C language is not object-oriented programming. C language is not object-oriented programming. We cannot create objects for classes there in C language. It is completely different there. But here we can create objects for any class. Okay. And then it becomes easy. It makes our life easy by allowing us to create real-time entities and access them using with the help of objects. Like now we are able to create objects and we are able to access those variables outside of the packages or inside of the packages, right? Array list. Now if you see this, array list is a class. For this array list, I was able to create an object outside of somewhere. And array list is created. Array list is from java.util package, right? You see, this is from java.util.arraylist package. But I'm able to access it inside collections package. I'm able to create an object for it so that it is making our life easy, right? I don't have to always copy that array list class and then use it. I'm just creating an object for it and then using all the functionality of this array list, right? So this kind of functionality, or you can also create, see, for example, now here C21 access spec variables is my class. I will be able to create an object for this class, right? So whichever programming languages which is supporting this creation of objects for classes is object-oriented programming languages. It has many other features also, but just remember like that. Okay. Right. So what do we achieve with the help of this object-oriented programming? These concepts helps us in achieving the functionality of reusing and as well as extending. If you remember in the introduction of programming languages, I told every programming language or every programming language has a concept of create, reuse, and extend. So till now we have seen creation, and at where we are writing methods, we saw reusability, and now this object-oriented programming, the last topic which is pending is extending. Right? So if you already have some functionality and you want to add some more functionality to this existing one without touching the existing one, then we use object-oriented programming concepts. So we extend the already having functionality. We are not touching the original one, but we are adding some more functionality to it. Like if I want you to say an example, we all use WhatsApp, right? we all use it. Now in WhatsApp, every time, whenever on your mobile, whenever every very frequently, every now and then, we will get some updates to be installed. We get it, right? From Play Store or from App Store, we get updates for WhatsApp. So what is happening there? Already, so is it removing all our chats in our mobile whenever we do an update?
No.
What is it doing? It is not touching anything which is already existing, but they are still fixing some of the issues, and we are able to get the updates without any change or without any loss of data on WhatsApp, right? So that is nothing but extending without touching any of the code which is already present. But I want to change the way it behaves. That I can achieve it by using extending. Like for example, my father runs a tea stall. For example, so that tea stall is very famous in that area. So everybody, whoever wants to drink a tea, used to go there. Like Starbucks, for example, Starbucks or any other coffee place, Dunkin's. Okay. So here my father runs a small tea stall. Now I am entering into the business, and I don't want to stop at tea stall, but I don't want to remove the tea stall as well, because the tea stall already gave fame for us. So I want to still continue the tea stall, but I want to increase my business. I want to add breakfast as well, like some sandwiches or any other Indian tiffins, dosa, idli, something. So without touching the tea stall will be in the same place. I will take rent, or I'll create another space for my tiffins, so that whoever comes to my breakfast center will have a tea, or whoever comes to have a tea, if they wish to have a breakfast, they will also have breakfast, right? So I'm not touching my father's business, but I'm extending his business. I'm improving or increasing its business, or increasing the coverage of the business, right? Now, even this, if you see these malls, they will be expanded into multiple businesses like clothing, groceries, electronic, smartphones, right? So they will be extending into different domains. But earlier, if you want to go, I mean, not now, long back, if you want to buy clothes, we have a separate store for clothes. If you want to buy kitchen items, then you have a separate store for it. But now everything is mixed together, right? So like that, I mean, I'm just giving very generic, very vague examples for you to understand. Okay. So normally there is a package or there is a class. I don't want to disturb that functionality which is present inside that package or inside that class, but I want to add some more functionality to the existing application. Then we go with this object-oriented programming or extending concept. Is that clear? Right. So unknowingly we already used. Okay, we did not use object-oriented programming concepts because we are going to use this. Generally, I'll give this object-oriented programming concepts after the Selenium, but for you, I'm continuing with Java. Okay, so where we use in Selenium, like we have a method called switch to frames, and we have a concept called POF and POF. This is a framework. Okay, so we have these two things where we unknowingly used object-oriented programming concept. So for now, you can skip it. There are around 7 major object-oriented programming concepts, but only 4 of them are important. They are inheritance, abstraction, polymorphism, and encapsulation. Okay. The other 3 are like assigning values to variables. That is also one concept of object-oriented programming. Okay. And creating relations. So such kind of things are there in other 3, but those are not needed. Okay, nobody is going to worry about them because they are the default behaviors. So these are the 4 extra things that we do if you want to implement object-oriented programming concept. Okay, so encapsulation is a small one. And polymorphism is having two things: method overloading and method overriding. That is nothing. Overloading and overriding concept is in polymorphism. Behaving one method behaving in two different ways is nothing but polymorphism. Okay, abstraction. So, like I said, when we saw the hierarchy, or when we saw the introduction to the collections framework, you saw there were interfaces and then classes which are implementing those interfaces, right? So abstraction means in the interfaces or abstract classes, we don't write any implementation. We just abstract them. I mean, we just write the declarations, but we do not have any code inside this abstraction. What we do is we create a child class, and then inside the child class, we have to implement all the methods which are present in the abstract class. Okay, so that is abstraction. But to do that, we need a child class. That means if you want to create a relationship between two classes, parent and child, we need inheritance concept. So that is why I designed this flow in this order. Okay. So if you want to learn encapsulation, you need to know about the access specifiers that we already learned. Okay. And if you want to learn polymorphism, one concept of method overriding. If you want to learn the concept of method overriding, you should be aware of abstraction. Okay. But to learn abstraction, you should be aware of inheritance. So that is why I designed this in this flow. Okay. Inheritance, abstraction, polymorphism, and encapsulation. Okay. Now let us see what is inheritance. Okay. Shall we continue?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So let us see what is inheritance. So inheritance is nothing but the process of achieving, the process of accessing variables of a parent class in the child class. Like I can access or I can use my father's money, right? But I cannot use somebody else's, my neighbor's money, because he's not my father. He won't give his property to me. But my father's property belongs to me by default, right? See, because me and my father has a relation, parent-child relation. So similarly, in Java also, the process of acquiring the properties and methods from one class to another is called inheritance. But how do we acquire it? Only when we have a relation between them. So what relation are we going to create? We are going to create a parent-child relation. But how do we create this parent-child relation? With the help of extends keyword. Understood? So if you want to acquire the properties or methods from other class to our class, we need to extend it, or we need to create we need to create a relationship between both those classes. So in Java supports only parent-child relationship. There is no mother, father, or brother. It's only parent and child. Okay. So it supports parent-child relationship. Okay, then how do I make a class as child class for some other class? Or how do I make a particular class as a parent for a class? With the help of extends keyword. We use extends keyword to create a relationship between parent and child class. Okay, class 1 and class 2. Class 1 extends class 2. So here class 1 is extending class 2. That means class 2 was already there, which is elder or earlier. So that is why class 2 becomes parent and class 1 becomes child. So here we are using this extends keyword to create a relationship between two different classes. What type of relation? Parent and child. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, there are other terminology for this parent and child class. So parent class is also called as base class. Child class is also called as subclass, or parent class is also called as extended class. Child class is also called as extending class. Okay. So these are the other terminology. Some people might call as parent of child. Some people might call as base class and subclass. Some people might call them as extended and extending classes. Okay. So these are the different terminology for the same classes. No need to worry. Whether it is a base class, whether it is an extended class, or whether it is a parent class, all the three refers to the same class. Okay, right. Now, what happens when you create a relationship between two classes, that is parent and child? Like I said, whatever the money my father has, whatever the properties, I mean, like real estate, land properties, or any other businesses. So all of them, I'll be having accessibility, right? Because I'm a child of that person. Whatever the properties my father has, I will be able to use them, or I will be able to enjoy the property, right? Or I'll be able to improve the property. But I'm adding up to my father's property. I'm not having a separate thing, right? So similarly, here also we are creating these parent and child classes so that whatever the values, whatever the methods, whatever the variables we have in our parent class, those can be accessed easily without any issues or without any keywords. You don't have to worry about creating a separate object for parent class and separate object for child class. When you create an object for child class, you will be automatically able to access its parent class methods as well. Okay. For example, I mean, simple example, like I have a friend, okay, who is a son of chief minister of the state, for example, or senator of your state. Okay. If you are able to visit your friend's house, then you are automatically visiting senator's house, right? Right. So the same way,
Yeah.
when we create an object for our child class, that child is a this is a subclass of a parent class. So this child class has access to all the values or all the properties of the parent. So automatically, when you create an object for the child class, it will be able to fetch as all the methods of the parent class as well. Understood? Okay. I know this is a lot of theory. Let us start and see to write coding for this inheritance. Okay. How do we create this inheritance? Now, your question might be answered, right? When do we use this? Theoretically, at least. When do we use this extends keyword? You got some examples, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine, super. Now let us see some example. Okay, how do we create this parent and child relationship, and what happens when I create an object for the parent class, and what happens when I create an object for the child class? So let us see. Let us write some code and then see some practical example. Okay, all right. So what are the advantages? So the advantages of this inheritance concept is it reduces the redundancy and the length of code, and also increases the reusability by extending the parent class. Because now I'll tell you, after writing the code, you will see this advantage. So what happens when we use inheritance is it is reducing the length of code. How is it is reducing? I'll show you in programming. Okay. And also increasing the reusability by extending the parent class. How is it increasing the reusability? This is also we'll see. Once we write code, you will easily understand this. Okay. Now let us see that. Go here. I'll create another package for this package, and then I'll say dot dot object-oriented programming. Now let us create class inside this new class. Okay. Say C1 underscore parent, or I will say C1 underscore child underscore child class, C1 underscore child. Okay. And then instead of C1 underscore child, say C1 underscore child. inside this, I'm creating another class called parent. Okay, I have a parent class, I have a child class, but these two are not in relation now because I did not use the keyword called extends. This will become a child class for this parent only when I create this extends parent. Now these two classes are in relationship. What relationship? Parent-child relationship. Okay. Fine. Now let us create some variables and some methods inside this class. Okay. Say string business is equals to, I'll say hospitality, something hospitality. I have this. Okay. And then create some variable public void get property list. Something I'm saying, let's get property list. Okay. Now here I'll say property is land plus business plus villa plus car. For example, this is a property that this parent has. Okay. Now, I have a child. Okay. Then having string business is equals to this will so fine. String business name is equals to
But
others
Nikhil, this doesn't have any public void class.
main method.
Yeah, main method.
Yeah, not I'll write. It's not a problem.
Okay. But it has to be there, right?
Not needed. If I am going to execute, then only it will be there. If I don't go, if I'm not going to execute, then it is not needed. Whenever I'm trying to execute, I'll create that main method. Actually, I thought of creating another class where I can show you a sample for this. So that is why I did not add main method over here. Okay. Public void get property list. So get child property list. Okay. So father property plus my property something. So I'm just giving some statements. You see here there is one method and then one variable, and here also one variable and one method. Let me create another class where I want to execute. New class. Okay, I need a main method over here. All right. Now I want to get the property method, but that property method is present inside parent. Okay. Now let us create object for the parent class. Parent. Okay. P object, parent object is equals to new parent. Even though there is no constructor, by default it will be assuming that there is a empty constructor. So that is why I'm able to call this method and create an object. Okay. Now let us see what are the methods available for this P object. You see from parent class how many things are accessible. One is business and the other one is get property list. Are we able to access them? Right. Let's say CISO. CISO. Business. This is common. This is normal. I'm just what do I say? Just accessing them again. P object dot get property list. So we are able to see only these two.
But the constructor has to have the class name, right? How come here the constructor is like?
This is not the constructor of this class. This is constructor of parent class. There is
So parent is a keyword here.
it's a class name. This is not a keyword. Keywords will be in this color.
Class name.
This is a class name. So inside this child, we have a parent class. Right here, it will be constructor. If you don't have any constructor here also, no problem. We can still create an object like this. Okay, this is not a keyword. This is a class name. This is a keyword, and this is a constructor method.
So you're calling the parent class here
Exactly.
and giving one variable.
Yeah, I'm storing it in a variable. And that
Variable, that
this is nothing
variable
but
has
object.
any of those object of parent, a new parent.
Yes, it will be able to access the values which are inside parent. Now you are able to see business and get property list. Only these two, right? Business and get property list. Nothing else is there inside this parent object. Do we see anything else from parent class?
Okay, child can access the parent.
Now let us see. Let us create child class object. Okay. What is the child class? C1 child. Okay. C object is equals to new child. Okay. Now let us see. C object dot. You see, I am able to access the parent class business also. You see that this business is coming from parent.
Yeah.
And we are also having method. We are also having the variable called business name from child class. So I'm able to get both the values. But when I create an object, how many values am I getting? Only parent related objects, right? If we do not have any relationship between them, we should have to create two separate objects to get these two different values. But since this parent and parent class and C1 child are in relation of parent-child relation, so that is why we are able to access both the parent and child object properties in the same child object. Understood? See this? Same. I created an object for child class, but still I'm able to access the parent property business, right? C object dot get property list from parent and get child property list from child. We have both. C object dot get child property list. You see, I created only one object, child object, but this child object is able to access both the properties of parent and child, right? So that is the advantage of inheritance. That is the advantage.
Is that object is a mandatory, or I can give any name there to make it as a child?
So here you can give Nikhil object, but that doesn't make any sense, right? So that is why I created it as child object. Okay. You can give any name. Variables are not restricted to have only these values. You can give any name for variables. Okay. At any place, in any of the classes, if you are creating some variables, whether it might be a parent type, whether it might be a child type, whether it might be a string, whether it might be an integer, it's up to you. Whatever the name you want to give, you can give. But just make sure that it is meaningful.
Can you go back to that parent and child?
Sure.
Not this one. Okay, it can be any name here. It's just a class. We don't specify by parent or a child.
Yeah.
But when by seeing extent, that's a child exactly. Class, subclass.
Yeah.
Parent can be anything. Okay.
Exactly. Here, if you want this parent, I'll say superior.
It's just another class. That's it.
Exactly. This is another class, superior. That's all. Superior. extended by this child class. So now for this child, superior is the parent.
But the child should be inside the packet, same packet, defining should be the same packet.
Anywhere. You can write it in any of the pack.
No. While defining, I'm saying,
This
without
one, right?
defining here, how can we call it outside?
I created this class inside the same file in order to avoid confusion and to make you understand easily. And
So,
in order to
okay.
avoid multiple classes, I created here. But you can also create this as a separate file. Okay. And that class can be extended in this class. Okay. Or this
If it is
class
public.
might be, yeah, this class might be in this package or out of the project also. Out of the project in dependencies. We have the dependencies, right? Inside this also. No problem. Okay.
How come this
You
is
can,
the default, right? You didn't say
yeah,
anything, so it's a default, so
yeah.
it cannot.
If you are using the same, then it cannot be created outside of this package. But generally, we can do this in a separate file. Okay. But just to make easy understanding and look at a glance, at a single glance, I created both the classes in a single file. That's all.
Okay.
Okay. So now here you see the parent object is superior now. Okay. So when I create an object for superior, I will be able to access only parent. So parent object cannot access the child properties, but child can access the parent properties. Understood?
Yeah, smart.
So you see, if the superior and C1 child are not in relation, to get these values, I should have created two different objects and then get the values. But now, how many objects I created to get from both the classes? Only one, right? This is enough for me to get all the properties list, all the business and business names. It means whatever is present in both the classes, this and this. Right?
Can you show the result?
Which one?
A result for this?
This one or that one?
No, this previous one. Yeah. The result?
Result I did not execute. Still explaining.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So if you are creating an object for parent, you are able to access only parent properties of parent methods or parent variables. But when you create an object for child, you are able to access both parents and child variables and both parents and child's methods. Whatever the properties you have in parent and child, you are able to access all of them. Right? So this is increasing the reusability because I don't have to rewrite. See, if I do not have a relationship between these and this, and I want to have the same property in my class, then I have to copy this and paste it inside this if I want to get this method, right? But I'm not doing it. This is already there in my parent class. This is already there in my parent class. So what I'm doing, I'm creating an object for child class and I'm able to access this parent and child. Understood? Okay, now let me run this. You will see both the properties. Okay, I'll add some SISO statements. Okay. When I'm accessing the parent, I was able to access hospital tables. But when I'm accessing by a child object, you are getting father's property, you are getting hospitality, and then you are getting this properties, land plus business plus villa plus car, which is a property of parent, and for child, father properties plus my. Okay, so this is the advantage, or this is the advantage of inheritance. Okay. So in our next session, when we meet our next session, I'll show you some real-time example, like how do we add functionality, or I'll take some other example like a car or a book or something else, and then I will show you what exactly it is. Okay. So, but you understood the whole concept of inheritance, right? Basic. We have not many things to learn out of inheritance. Let us see that later. Okay, we have types of inheritance. And we will also learn a new keyword called super as part of this topic. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 8:20 now. I mean, we are left with 10 minutes. So do we have any questions in today's topic, access specifiers or access modifiers, and in, introduction to inheritance, basic example of inheritance?
Mm.
No? Okay. Then let's wind up for today. Let's meet again on my Monday, that is your Sunday.
Sure. Have fun, Nikhil.
Yeah.
Bye.
Have a great weekend.
Yeah,
Bye.
be safe.
You too.
Travel safe. Yeah, bye.
Yeah.